Hey, what's going on, guys? This is G. Casey with my buddy Stark, about to cast some more of the All-Invitational 6. How you doing today, Stark?
Doing all right. Had a nice casting warm up earlier. I think I
Yeah, I
got
was watching that.
some out as well.
Yeah, you've been casting for a majority of today already. I think that
Yeah.
tournament's going to go a little bit longer than what we have planned for today, but we are doing what's effectively the round of eight in the winners bracket. So we're going to see a few familiar names that we saw last week, mainly the winners that we saw last week, facing off against the first place participants from each group from the group stage. So first place people would be Tang from Group A, TB Ham from Group B, Jacobus from Group C, and Shalashika from Group D, who to me was the biggest surprise, mostly because I don't know him very well, besides from what I've seen of him in chat. Mainly his gameplay was something that I was very unfamiliar with, and it surprised me that he went 7-0 in that group with a group that was effectively the group of death with Name, Richie, Stark, and Zale all in the same group, all of which could beat each other on any given
Yeah,
day.
that's true. I know I'm above 50% against Shalashka as Zerg. I like 0% is Terran. I'm 50% against Zale. I'm probably, I don't know, I think I'm 40 something percent against Richie and a little bit less against Name. And I'm one of the mediocre players in that group in
Yeah,
comparison. So, I mean,
that's just
that's.
going to show how strong that group was. And for Shalashika to completely 7-0 that whole group, I mean, Tang didn't even do that in Group A. So that being said, Jacobus
Wow,
is another
called
person.
out.
I'm just saying, in comparison, Jacobus was another guy who 7-0'd his group as well. Probably a weaker group, definitely than Group D, but it did contain P. Sosa in there, which is it's never an easy feat to beat him. So grats to Jacobus there as well. TB Ham did very well in his group, 6-1. Um, off the top of my head, did he lose to Shadver in the
Yeah, he
group?
did lose to Shadver, but then eventual walkovers resulted in TB Ham being top.
Right. Yeah. Okay, and Tang, we all know who he lost to already, so we don't have to keep
Yeah,
going
he
on
lost to the new owner of All In, Arrowware.
that.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We'll be saying this every stream, I believe, from now on.
All right, so let's go ahead and start jumping into some gameplay here in, uh, excuse me, in the quarterfinals or the round of eight of the winners bracket. And starting off, we're going to be doing a ZVP here on Overgrowth.
All right. Shadver, Tang.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tang is the favorite going into this purely from previous results. Being Grandmaster. He hit Grandmaster, I think, at least twice. Possibly
Yeah,
more than
and
that.
you can tell just from having a conversation with him about the game that he's definitely very very knowledgeable. But let's go ahead and introduce the players here. Spawning in the top right corner of Overgrowth, the purple Protoss player Shadver.
And to the bottom right hand side, left hand side. All right, let's start this again. To the bottom left hand side of Overgrowth, the pink Zerg, the ex leader of all inspiration. It is Tang.
Haven't talked to Arrow Air about when he's going to start his coaching sessions for the team yet, but I'm sure they'll be coming soon.
Yes, it'll be it'll be something good. So Tang, for those of you who don't know, he likes attacking. If he's not attacking, he's building up an economy to make an attack. That's pretty much Tang in a nutshell, I believe.
That almost sounds a little bit like StarCraft 2 in a nutshell to
Yeah,
me, but but
yeah,
I get what you're
okay.
saying.
All
He's
right.
incredibly aggressive. I mean, you can say that a Protoss player would build an economy to attack, but off of 3 bases at around the 15 to 18 minute mark, as opposed to when Tang usually likes to do it, which is off of 1 or 2 bases at around the 8 minute mark.
And apparently Tang also has the balls to just to go 14 gas, 13 pool in front of a probe, which really shows how confident he is in his build orders that he's done in his little Zerg workshop.
Well, we'll see how Shadver responds now. He knows, and he's gonna. Oh, okay. I was like, he's responding by pulling all his probes off the line. But a bit of a misclick happening there. It looks like he's gonna go ahead and just throw the Nexus down, and I wonder if he's. I wonder if that's a right decision. I'd like to see a Forge go down first. I think.
He needs something. He's probably just going to complete the wall off without building any more probes, I would hope. Going to be Forge Gateway Pylon, I would assume, coming down very shortly here. And Tang is opting for... Oh, wow. I think this is just going to be a Baneling bust here from Tang. A one-base Baneling bust. He's
probe
mining...
is...
Yeah, he's still mining gas.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like. The probe is rallied across the natural here, and he's seeing no base yet. So Shadver is at least going to know this is coming, and I mean, at this point, you might as well just wall yourself completely in here.
Yeah, you have to almost. I mean, there's going to be one cannon by default coming down. I would sincerely hope, for Shadver's sake, that there's going to be a second and maybe third cannon with backup pylons so they don't get depowered. But yeah, Tang is just... attacking. This is Tang. He will be attacking you. This is going to be scary.
And Shadver not showing like he wants to build. I mean, he's getting his gases now, which I suppose at some point you need. But I mean, there's money for cannons here, and he's not building them.
Yeah, I wonder if he actually recognized what was going on. He's building the cybernetics core, which is gonna, I think, wall off on that side there. It might not quite wall off behind the pylon, that is, assuming the pylon goes down. But
oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's still like these Banelings are morphing in, and did Tang lose an Overlord there? Why is he on? What's the deal with that?
How would he have lost an Overlord?
To a cannon is the only way. You must have got to build an Overlord, and yeah, just like.
I did the extractor.
Yeah, but oh my god.
But it's okay. He just wins.
Well, he hasn't won yet.
There's a Zealot here.
There is a Zealot, and if Shadver gets the re-wall off in time... Oh, he doesn't get the re-wall off in time. That sucks. Okay, this is starting to get dangerous.
Yeah, Ling speed is obviously finished here. These Lings are completely... You know, this reminds me of that video we saw a few months ago where it was like how it feels like when it's done to me. And when you're a Protoss player and the Zergling Baneling bust comes in and the Banes start jumping over the walls and like insta-morphing into Banelings and everything. It's pretty similar to that because we're going to see here that there's pretty much nothing that Shadver can really do. He's trying to get Warp Gate done. He's got one gateway that he can make stuff out of, but he's not even mining right now. And he's down
mining from his natural, which is something. And he's got the Mothership Core, he's got the cannon there, he's got a second cannon. So he will be alive, but he's on one base, and the Lings can just like run around and be annoying for so long here. So much lost mining time.
You know, that's a good point, actually. Shadver is still ahead in worker count. If that's going to last until these Lings are all killed off, I'm not too sure. It's possible. But I mean, Tang is only just now throwing down a second base, so it looks like... what would you say? Do you think Shadver is still in an all-right spot here?
He's got Warp Gate halfway done, so he can at least get that production going very shortly, but he has no way of leaving his natural, and he has no pylons out on the map, no probes anywhere, so he can't apply any counter pressure aside from breaking his own wall, which do you really want to do against Tang? I mean, Tang's already broken the first wall.
At least once Warp Gate is finished, he'll be able to warp on the outside. Yeah. But you can't warp probes out there, so there's no pylons out on the map for Shadver either. So Tang is, he's totally safe to just take a third base. I actually really like that play from him.
I think Tang's just going to be droning up, hitting whatever. He likes to work in stages as a player, so he'll have, for example, this first attack, which he knows exactly how many Lings and Banelings that attack would have and what time that would hit. He'll then know how many drones he needs to make and what time he needs to take those gases to arrive at the next benchmark to satisfy the unit count for whatever next attack he makes. So it looks like he's going to be going into some kind of +1 roach attack to follow this up. And he's just going to keep droning until he hits that amount of drones that he knows he needs, and then it's just going to be endless waves of roaches.
Yeah, and I think that's the perfect response here because he just flew his Overlord all the way in and all the way out. Literally nothing around that can stop him from doing that. And he's flying in again. He's going to see that robo facility. But I mean, when you're mining off of one base gas, like, yeah, you can afford immortals, but pretty much nothing else. So he's far away from being able to get a large enough amount of immortals out to scare away Tang from making roaches.
Yeah, Tang's making a few spore crawlers just in case. I mean, this mothership could actually been pretty annoying, so I imagine it's a response to that. And meanwhile in Shadver, I mean, he's resaturating his main base, which is it's not a sentence you want to hear, but that is the sad truth. And he is going into the +1 on the forge, and it looks like he's going up to 4 gateways with the robo. Will he be going up to 7 or 8 and doing some kind of counter timing, or will he be aiming for the 3rd? I think that's what we're going to be waiting for next.
He's going to shoo away that Overlord and take it out, which I like. I'm interested to see what he builds first out of this robotics facility. With the gateways following up, I'm assuming it's going to be an immortal. I mean, an observer would be nice, but I don't think it's going to help him all that much if he's planning on just attacking anyway.
Yeah.
He knows about the 3rd base.
And this 3rd base is getting saturated as well. Tang is still droning up so aggressively. I mean, it's always about aggression with Tang. Aggressive droning or just being aggressive. It's always going to be that droning.
Yeah.
And what are we going up to? 50, 55-ish drones? Yeah, and then just straight roaches from here. I mean, Tang is on 2 gases, so it's just going to be a lot of roaches followed by a lot of speedlings. Maybe a few banelings.
Yeah, he'll build the banelings if he needs them. I don't think he will, though, because the roaches are going to be able to tear down this wall easily. There's a small handful of units for Shadver moving out onto the map. A few sentries, which, as a Zerg player, are always annoying, no matter what. But, I mean, Tang is going to hit with a huge force of roaches. They're all going to have roach speed and +1 attack, so this is he needs more than this, for sure. I'm not too sure what this is really planned to do, actually.
I think he has to recall, to be honest.
Yeah, he might do that right now.
Oh, going for the force field, actually, but there's so many roaches. I mean, a few more stalkers come in, but they just move command all the way up, and all the sentries are dead. And Tang is now doubling Shadver's supply. And he's gone up to 4 gases now, which is the 3 gases actually, which is a little bit less than the old Stefano benchmarks. Stefano would like the 4 gas, 4 hatcheries, 3 mineral lines, but Tang doesn't need that much. He's recognized that Shadver's still pretty low eco. His main is just barely saturated at this stage, and Tang's busting down the front door.
Yep, Photon Overcharge is going to be activated here, which, I mean, it's helping for sure. I don't know, like, Tang is just going to... Okay, well, it looked like he was just going to go ahead and force himself through the wall here and do some damage, but I like this decision better to just, like, pick off the forge, pick off the gateways. There is an immortal here, and that's going to help, but he's actually force-fielding these roaches closer to the immortal, so they can still target fire it. That being said, he's not target firing it, so this immortal is actually doing quite a lot of damage here.
Yeah, I mean...
He held it off.
Tang was doubling Shadver's supply for a moment there. And now all of a sudden there's only a 20 supply difference. That being said, it's always what's going on behind this attack. And Tang has gone up to a 4th base, a Hydralisk Den. He's going to be adding +2. He's going to expand to the gold. He's taking all of the bases. He's taking all of the bases on his side of the map. He's going up to 6 bases versus 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not every day that you see something like that happen. And it's a good decision. I mean, again, I think he, with a little bit better control, I don't know, like, I don't want to say anything about Tang's control, but I just feel like that engagement could have went a lot better for him if he paid a little bit more attention to it.
I think that's fair.
I mean, he also doesn't really have to. I mean, he took out the Forge. The Forge did manage to finish +1 attack, by the way, so that's kind of nice going for Shadver here. Because if you look at the upgrades, I mean, it's +1 attack only for the Zerg player too, so they're going to be on even grounds there at least.
Tang is building a lot of static defense as well. He really doesn't want to have to bring his roaches around to defend his bases. Maybe that's showing... To me, actually, that shows a lack of confidence in multitasking. But it's also a case of just... If all of my roaches are in the Protoss base, they're not in my base defending it. So, I mean, that's fair. But Shadver's actually got a pretty scary force here. There's a lot of sentries. There's a few immortals as well.
Yeah, this is an oddly familiar composition I've been seeing at a Protoss these days, where you look at the supplies and you're thinking like, okay, well, Zerg is winning, right? But then you see this engagement, and if Shadver has good enough control, he can easily win this fight. The spine crawlers are actually amazing, though. Having them here really going to help out against these zealots, as we're seeing the engagement happen now. These force fields are really good. Look at half of Tang's army is stuck here behind the spine crawlers. This is really annoying, and Shadver is, you know, he's looking scary here.
I mean, these spine crawlers are actually kind of force fields in their own right as well. This is pretty scary, and Tang trying to move out there, trying to get a concave so he's not being blocked by his own spine crawlers, I think, and a few more force fields are going down here, but I think the Hydralisk numbers are going to be too much from Tang here. He's still on 5 hatcheries with three saturated mineral lines. Shadver's going to clean up the Hydras, though.
Yeah, but then it's going to follow up with like 12 more Hydras and about 15 more Roaches, so I mean, as long as they all sort of show up at the same time,
They're not.
Yeah, that's true, they're not, and this is that thing, right? But all the sentries are gone now, so with all the sentries gone, eventually Tang's income will reign supreme here, I'm pretty sure. And these spine crawlers, obviously, too. Look at them going to work there.
Yeah, head banging away. I mean, that's the last Immortal down, and all of a sudden there's 5 Stalkers. Well, I mean, 5 Stalkers are not so scary, but Shadver really made a game out of that one.
Yeah, he did, and that was pretty impressive. I mean, recognizing what he needs at that point, right? When you're behind, I guess there's like 2 options you can do. When behind, go Dark Shrine, or when behind, get Immortals and Sentries, and just try to do your best with the force fields there. And he got some really good force fields down. And like you said, he totally made a game out of it. And I bet you that we're going to see a little bit more focus coming out of